Did you know that if you take a LEGO Star Wars set, throw away the instructions, and build something else, it's called an alternate build? It's all the parts from the same set, just built different. And today, I'm going to be showing you some of the best alternate builds out there using sets you might already own. Starting out with this fabulous set, let's make it even more glorious. Oh my god, I just dropped it. Oh well, it's gotta come apart anyways. And the maroon color scheme makes this an ideal candidate to build not another ship, but a location. It's based on a set that LEGO made back in 2012 that's now worth over $500. It's called Palpatine's Arrest. This set features sliding doors, 2 seats, his desk, and his his office chair. And this alternate build came together really well. There's a detachable landing pad with this small shuttle, which actually looks like something that would be flying around Coruscant, although not accurate to the scene in Revenge of the Sith, as we just don't have the right pieces. The doorway section can also detach, and it has the sliding door feature, which is just so satisfying. And then on the platform, you get some stairs, these 3 structures that are pretty much the only details in the entire room, the 2 chairs, this awesome sideways desk design, and Palpatine's luxury office chair. I actually think this looks better than the set, but now we need to add minifigures. I gave Palpatine some maroon legs so that he can sit on his throne, then I added in a few Jedi Masters so I could recreate the events from Revenge of the Sith.
It's treason. You are under arrest. No, no.
But this could also be a scene from Clone Wars if you add in this cursed Clone Wars version of Palpatine. Other figures in addition to Palpatine could include Padme, Anakin, Padawan Ahsoka, and Senator Bail Organa, who I made wearing his senator outfit and his gray cape. And man, I love this. If this were on shelves for like $100, I would so buy it. But unfortunately, right now it'll cost you your $140 gunship, plus figures. But if you do want to build this or any of the other alternate builds in today's video, I've linked all of the instructions in the description below, some of which are free and some that you have to purchase to help to support the designers who actually took the time to make them. So now let's go from a pricey set to the least expensive Star Wars set, Rex's Y-Wing. That is, if you can get your hands on it.
Are you serious right now?
Something else that you can build out of these parts is a small speeder by just extending out the front. And it's actually pretty comparable to the Bark speeder from the 501st Battle Pack and this one from the Bad Batch shuttle. I think this is a way better vehicle option for Rex too, so that you can fit them right into your battle packs and your battle scenes. I also wanted to make this cool dropship out of 2 Y-Wings, since LEGO's never made one as a microfighter, but they were literally out of stock everywhere. So let's try a different approach. I mean, we all wish that this was a playscale Y-Wing instead of a microfighter, so I got the idea to just take a Y-Wing and recolor it. By removing all of the yellow parts from this Rogue One Y-Wing, I color swapped parts from the microfighter, and then grabbed a few parts from 501st Battle Packs that I had in the drawer, so that I could finish out the blue and white striped color scheme. I used the bubble from the older Ghost set and then extended the engine nacelles as seen in the earlier models of this ship, and once completed, I was super happy with the way this turned out. It could definitely use some fine tuning here and there, but overall it looks pretty good. Oh, final detail, Rex's shovel. Now, another model that LEGO has never released is a crab droid, and this should have totally been in the AT-RT set instead of a dwarf spider. So here's a way to get a version of a crab droid using 2 of the new droid and clone battle packs. You can combine all of the Tri-Droid parts to create this separatist color scheme crab droid, which I suppose could be a variation of the Techno Union LM432 muckraker. This is a fairly sturdy build, and it's definitely a fun new variant for the droid army. Now, with the remaining parts from those same 2 battle packs, and maybe just a few extras, you can also make a pretty sick looking AT-RT. And this is a recreation of Solid Brick Studios alt build that I had to eyeball the best I could. I love the feet design on this, and the scale is like perfect. It's definitely a little on the fragile side, but it does pose well, and I just really like the overall look. But that's not all we can do with this set. It comes with a small Octoptara droid, but I want to make it bigger. And you'd think I'd have an endless supply of battle packs, considering the haul I just received of 1,000 clone troopers from overseas, but Brickley only sent me the minifigures. And I just can't imagine unboxing 3,000 of these, because 4 alone made me tired. And hopefully after seeing this alt build, people will buy more of the sets, because this is a much cooler Octoptara droid, or Tri-Droid for short. That's very hard to say. This build is surprisingly good. This is the size we started with, and this is the size of the alternate build. Also, it actually towers over the clone troopers, which makes it look so much more convincing. Add in your 501st and 212th, and we have everything we need to recreate the Battle of Yavana from Season 7. You can also use the parts from a 504 Specialist battle pack to create another AT-RT, but this one definitely turned out a little chunkier. With that, you'd expect it to be a little bit sturdier, but it falls over quite easily, and that's partially due to the leg proportions just being a bit off. And just for comparison, here's the official LEGO version. But you be the judge. Which one do you think looks better? LEGO, David's, or Will's? For this next build, I had to go out and purchase it because I was so uninterested in the original set. That is, until I saw the alternate build. I actually physically drove to the store to pick this up because I couldn't get it delivered along with my other groceries. And by the way, when did groceries become so expensive? Anyway, I bought the Pirate Snub Fighter for $27. And if you sell the figs off for about $15 to $20, you can create your very own Imperial V-Wing, last seen on shelves in 2009 for a mere $7. That's right, and when are we ever getting one of these again? Despite all of its screen time in the Bad Batch, LEGO still hasn't made another one of these ships. I did, however, add in a couple of these hinges so that I could modify the wings and get movement, and oh my gosh, this looks so good. Here's the 2014 V-Wing for comparison. It's definitely a lot skinnier, flatter, and a little bit longer, but it's almost too flat that it makes the bubble windshield look kind of goofy. Plus, there's this huge gap, which kind of makes me like the alternate version better because it looks sleek, and it has stud shooters, yay! And this isn't the only LEGO Star Wars set that hasn't been made in over 10 years. Up next, we're building a B-Wing, seen in Return of the Jedi, with more developmental backstory on the B6 version in the animated show Rebels. But why is it called a B-Wing when it doesn't really look like a B? Especially if you're dyslexic like me, you have no idea what lowercase letter that is. Originally, it was in reference to A fighters and B fighters, but then in Rebels, there was a Blade squadron of these ships, hence the nickname B-Wing. And I've never owned one of these because they're somewhat obscure and hard to come by. So I'd highly recommend trying out this alternate build. Not only were the instructions a breeze to follow on this one, but the model actually looks so good and it's fully functional, minus this one illegal building technique on the cockpit. But you can't even tell! It's super impressive how there's no underside because all of the panel's anti-studs are facing each other, so you can pretty much display this from any angle. Although I did run out of time to construct a stand for it, so I'm just gonna have to keep it in parked position for a while. As for figures, if you sold them off for about $50 to $60, it makes this a $20 set.
Nice.
As for the pilot, I picked up this 2006 version of Ten-Num. He's a Sullustan like the one that flew with Lando and blew up the Death Star too. And did you know that they're actually brothers? But what's even crazier is that LEGO has never made Nine-Nub before. And for the longest time, fans were also certain that LEGO would never make this figure, Cal Kestis from the video game Jedi Fallen Order. But then we got BD-1, the adorable sidekick droid, as a buildable LEGO set. And today, we're turning him into the iconic ship, the Stinger Mantis. This is the perfect build to add to your Starship collection. It does turn out to be a little bit bigger in terms of scale, but those black display stands are just what we need. And I used 2 of them to support the wing and engines because the Technic pieces just cause them to sag a little. So I placed these bricks as a support and now it sits perfectly level. Just need to borrow this tile and boom! There's room to add the official LEGO Cal Kestis minifigure that's releasing later this year. I made this Seer minifigure and added my 2 fakey Inquisitors. This looks so good, and it really makes me wish that LEGO would include minifigures with their Starship collection because this is a sick display. And I saved quite possibly the best set for last. For this one, I bought another Coruscant gunship, and this time I'm turning it into a different kind of gunship. A dropship to be exact.
Yes,
one that can haul ATTEs, ATOTs, and all kinds of walkers straight into the battlefield. And this build is excellent. The finished product is very sturdy. There's side panels, not much interior space, ball turrets, a tail gun, snack compartments, and of course a carrying handle. Let's compare this to my other alternate build of the Mandalorian Starfighter turned into a dropship. While this blue one does actually stand on the hind legs, it's definitely a lot more fragile overall. But take a look at the hauling power with this ATTE turned ATOT. And yes, it does walk. What's cool is that you can attach it with either dropship, but this one is a bit cumbersome. Trying out the Coruscant dropship though makes it look a lot easier, and it has this hook which makes it perfect to grab onto carrying handles, which means we can grab any ATT model with a carrying handle with ease. Selling the figures would still make this like a $60 vehicle, so if you can't find the parts for less, definitely give it a try and let me know what else you can carry with this thing because it's easily my favorite build out of the entire video, and I really liked all of these. But let me know which build was your favorite, which builds you want to see in the future, and in the meantime, happy building.